Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Uh, Welcome to Coffee and Nuance. I'm Tom Coffee. What are the odds, right? Today I want to talk about something that's been on my mind lately. It's the cozy little bubble we all find ourselves in. That's right, folks. It's time to peel back the layers. Take a long, hard look at the echo chambers we've built for ourselves. You know what an echo chamber is, right? It's a safe space where you surround yourself with people who share every thought and belief. It's like a warm bath of agreement where we can bask in the comfort of knowing that you're always right. But here's the thing. When we live in these echo chambers, we become isolated from reality. We lose touch with the different perspectives that make our world so vibrant. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all for surrounding myself with like-minded people. It's nice to have someone nodding along when you're talking. But if all we hear are echoes of our own thoughts, how do we grow? How do we challenge our own assumptions? How can we learn from one another? You see, an echo chamber is like a bubble, and bubbles are fragile. They're easily burst. And when that happens, we're left standing there, shocked and confused, wondering how the hell the world doesn't see things the way we do. Well, maybe it's because we never bothered to listen to others, even if they're wrong. We become so afraid of disagreement, so intolerant of dissent, we've created these digital fortresses where we block and unfollow anyone who dares challenge our worldview. We've traded healthy debate for Facebook arguments. We've replaced critical thinking with mindless scrolling. I take that back. I don't think we ever really embraced critical thinking. But here's the hard truth. Living in an echo chamber doesn't make you smart. It makes you stagnant. It doesn't make you right. It makes you closed-minded. And it certainly doesn't make you better. It makes you complacent. So let's break out of these bubbles. Let's burst the fragile walls and step into the real world. Let's engage with people that hold different opinions and challenge our assumptions. Because here's the thing. True progress doesn't come from preaching to the choir. It comes from engaging with those who disagree. From finding common ground, building bridges. It comes from recognizing that we don't have all the answers and being open to learning something new. Because in the end, it's not about being right. It's about being informed. It's about being curious. It's about being willing to grow. And that, my friends, is how we break free of the suffocating grip of the echo chamber. And may we all find the courage to burst our own bubble. My name's Tom Coffee. This is the Coffee and Nuance Show, the best censored commentary and news show live. Right now, flame on. So yeah, just talking a little bit about echo chambers. I was thinking about this yesterday, about something that I was talking about on the show. And it's really interesting because when I talk with people that I know in real life, I will bring up some stories that they haven't heard anything about, anything at all. I think the example that I used yesterday is depending on, where you get your media, you've either seen Joe Biden fall down a couple hundred times this year or not at all. And it all just depends on, where we're sourcing our information from. And I was talking with a friend about the Target thing. He was like, I might have heard a little something about that. And this is like a, very left-wing NPR guy. And he's like, I might have heard a little bit about the boycott. It's like they were mad at the gays, right? Something like that. I'm like, no, that's not the story whatsoever. But it just is an example of when you are in an echo chamber, you really don't know what the hell is going on. Now, I know that people that watch my show are way more open-minded to different points of view because I am not necessarily just repeating talking points from either party. In fact, people on the left think that I'm a right-winger. People on the right think I'm a left-winger. I don't know. It's a lot of people can't figure me out. but I guess I kind of hate them both. And so I just look at things individually. That's how I do it. That's not real popular, or that doesn't make a whole lot of money. And if that point of view doesn't make money, well, you don't see it very much, you know. But I want to give you another reason to step out of your echo chamber. Not just so that you can see what other people are talking about. But it's that you can become a lot more persuasive in your point of view if you have heard what they're hearing. If you have seen what they're seeing, it's a lot easier. So if you're having a conversation with someone and they bring up something, if you've seen it presented from their point of view, you can go, oh yeah, no, I saw that, and then I saw this other thing that had a slightly different take on it. Now, immediately, what that does is that puts you in the position of, okay, you've heard one thing, I've heard a couple things. So it's putting you in the position of being more informed or having more viewpoints or more points of view than they do. You don't have to say that you're right. You can say, oh, I heard that. I heard it from that point of view. I also heard it from another point of view. I like to look at things from different points of view. It just makes you appear more open-minded, and people will listen to you if they think that you're more open-minded than if you're closed-minded. If you're closed-minded and it's a different point of view, they're going to ignore everything that you say. But if you just have the appearance of taking in more points of view, it gives you a lot more credibility when you're speaking with family members or friends or whoever, people at work, about something that you care about. So that's the idea today. Just get out of your echo chamber a little bit. You don't have to go out for long. You can step out once a week. You can bookmark a couple websites and just go see what the other side is talking about. I'm glad that I did that because, if I just kept only watching one point of view, I would probably still have the mindset of a Young Turks viewer, But you got to step outside and see different points of view, and that's how you can really figure out what you think. So yeah, that's it. But I do appreciate, though, the people in the comments that you don't always agree with me, and it's not necessary. Because I'm learning and growing too, and I can be wrong about some stuff. So, but not only that, if I can be wrong about some stuff, so can you. And that's a good thing to embrace, just to embrace that. Anyway, we got a good show today. I just want to get through a couple of stories. First up, a little scary, perhaps, thing about the EU. Hey, did you hear about the WHO, World Health Organization, and the EU collaboration on a global health certification system? Now, if that's not the setup for a punchline, I don't know what is. It's hard writing this stuff sometimes. It's like trying to find a parking spot when you're already late. The WHO, famous for their stellar track record during the pandemic, is teaming up with the EU to create a digital COVID passport. It's like taking swimming lessons from someone with no pool and no water. And they're calling it a landmark agreement. And if their track record is any indication, this landmark is a sinking ship. I can't wait to see how they prioritize privacy and data protection. Your data is probably going to be as secure as posting your credit card details on a public billboard. That's my take. Yeah, so the World Health Organization and the European Union have signed an agreement to create a global health certification system based on EU's digital COVID pass. Yikes. This system aims to facilitate, that's what they're facilitating, access to health services through digital solutions, and will expand to include other certifications. Oh, great. So more of this stuff. It will engage in safe global travel and in help enhance preparedness for future pandemics. They're telling us there's going to be future pandemics? What do they know? And they claim that privacy and data protection will be prioritized because we've never had any data leak. That's never happened, ever. Yeah. So this is, a lot of people were saying that this is coming. This is what they're doing. They're testing this out. They're making these digital passports. And it was like, oh, no, that's just going to be for COVID. Oh, that's just for the pandemic. It's just because it's an emergency. Well, everybody said that they were going to turn that into something permanent. They were right. All the conspiracy theorists were right. And all the people pushing back and saying, no, this is just for an emergency. You were propagandized to, and you were wrong. Take the L. Okay. So yeah, digital passports, digital health passports coming to Europe. They're going to float it out there, see how it works, see how well it works for controlling people. Hopefully, it'd be nice if Europeans would have a little pushback, but they just seem to take everything, don't they? Just whatever is dealt out, they just seem to go along with it. They're going to have a tougher time here in the U.S. for that, but we can see that is what they're working toward. So one of the reasons that I bring up this story to you, and it has to do with echo chambers, is this is news. Try to find this story wherever you get your news. So if you get your news from NBC, try to find this story on NBC.com. It should be a big story. Fact check me, right? Go look for yourself. Is ABC covering this story? Is the New York Times covering this story? Washington Post covering this story? Well, this morning when I was looking, I couldn't find any of them as sources. Now, perhaps they will cover it in the coming days, but so far, all of these news sources don't seem to be on the cutting edge of news. And this is an example why some guy in a jungle studio can bring you breaking news better than multi-billion-dollar corporations. That doesn't seem right. Anyway, let's talk about the Supreme Court. Good coffee. Good coffee. Hope you have some coffee. And just as a reminder, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Do me a favor. I'm not making jack doing this show. But you can give me a thumbs up for free. And if you do that, I do appreciate that. We're talking about something really silly. You hear about the latest Supreme Court drama? Yeah. They're all fired up about whether Trump can be mocked as too small on a trademarked t-shirt. I mean, come on. We're talking about a man who was the president of the United States, had his finger on the nuclear button, but apparently the size of his hands is still up for debate. Who knew the highest court in the land would be spending their time measuring the length of a trademark instead of focusing on, I don't know, like important stuff? It's like they're turning the Supreme Court into an episode of Judge Judy. Nuts. Yeah, so the Supreme Court's going to decide whether mocking former President Trump under a trademarked t-shirt is protected under free speech. The Federal Appeals Court allowed the trademark Trump Too Small for political commentary, while the Patent and Trademark Office initially denied it. The Biden administration wants the trademark rejected, stating that free speech doesn't grant property rights to another person's name. And the case doesn't involve Trump directly. So, why this is ever trademarked is beyond me. Trademarks cost a lot of money. So what this tells me is whoever came up with this dumb shirt that I've never seen, Trump too small, you know what they're talking about, went through the process of trademarking it. That tells me that whoever is behind this has a lot of money. Yeah, a lot of money. And now they're wasting the Supreme Court's time on something this dumb. I really can't think of... this should be just rejected outright, in my opinion. Now, I'm not an attorney. Don't pretend to be an attorney. I have seen some legal movies. Stuff like that, right? I've seen some legal dramas on TV. So that makes me an expert enough. But the Supreme Court has limited time. Why this should be allowed to be a trademark is ridiculous. Trump too small. Number one, a trademark is to protect this. I don't think anybody is out there making these pirated shirts of Trump too small and trying to make money off of it. It's not happening. This is all just political maneuvering, and it has really no place taking up time with the Supreme Court, in my opinion. But, however, if you know more than me, let me know. I could be wrong on this. I'm not even passionate about this. It just seems dumb. Like a dumb waste of time. We got so many important things going on. I would understand if this were a popular shirt. Have you ever seen this shirt? Ever? No. Have you heard anyone use that phrase? No, I've never heard that either. I feel I'm pretty connected with a lot of politics. Never heard this. So this is made up. This is a fake drama, and they were able to sucker the Supreme Court into it. Ridiculous. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get to some actual positive news. Yeah. Do you hear the news? Iran and Saudi Arabia are reopening their embassies. It's like a diplomatic version of It's Complicated on Facebook. You know, they unfriended each other, blocked each other, and now they're sending each other friend requests again. I guess even countries need a fresh start and a chance to like each other's vacation photos. But hey, at least they can now share their mutual love of hummus and oil prices in person. Yeah. So yeah, Iran confirmed the reopening of an embassy in Saudi Arabia after a 7-year diplomatic rift. The embassy in Riyadh will reopen on Tuesday, today, followed by the reopening of the consulate in Jeddah and the representative office of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. The move is part of a China-brokered agreement signed in March. China-brokered. The Saudi embassy in Tehran and its consulate in Mashhad have yet to announce their reopening. The development signals a significant step toward reducing tensions between the two regional powers. So this is a big deal. This is a big deal that Iran and Saudi Arabia are playing nice, and they were put together by the Chinese. Look at that. The Chinese out there creating peace between nations. I don't know. Can we handle that? Is that allowed? Because I've heard China talk about wanting to make peace between Russia and Ukraine. We're losing. The U.S. is losing its power as the negotiators because it appears to me the U.S. often doesn't want peace between these countries. They like them fighting each other. That gives the U.S. more power. China came along and said, oh, no, you two ought to get together. And now they are, opening embassies, making things better. I think it's a great step forward. I think, the more countries that are talking to each other, the more countries that have diplomatic relationships with each other, the better the world is, the safer the world is. And so this is really a step forward in a good way. Yeah. And lastly, I think I got some real positive news, especially for kids. This is a big deal. All right. Why'd the peanut allergy teen become a fan of the patch? Because he wanted to join the No Nut Club. If you know, you know. Anyway, a landmark phase 3 trial has shown that a skin patch for peanut allergies in children under 4 is safe and more effective than a placebo. Over 12 months, 2/3 of children using the patch didn't have adverse reactions to peanuts compared to the placebo group. The patch works like exposure therapy, training the body to tolerate peanut proteins. The trial used double-blind and placebo controls, and the patch had minimal side effects. This is promising news for families dealing with peanut allergies in young children. So this is really great news because, when I was a kid, there were no peanut allergies. I had never even heard of that. You could take peanuts to school. You could take peanut butter sandwiches to school. That wasn't a thing. And for whatever reason, maybe we all ate too much peanut butter in the 80s that all of a sudden everybody's kids turned out to have these peanut allergies. I don't know why. Just talking here. And they've made it such that you can't have peanuts in anything. You send a cupcake to the school, for, Wednesday cupcake day or whatever. You got to make sure, don't put any peanuts anywhere near it because someone's going to have a reaction and have to use an EpiPen that costs $600, right? But that's really good news. That's really good news that this worked on 2/3 of the people that used it. That's going to allow a lot more people to have a relationship with peanuts. It's going to make things a lot safer. Does it solve it 100%? No, it makes it a lot better. And if you can take away the allergies from 2/3 of people just by wearing a little patch for a little while, man, that's great. And like I said, all the good news this month is about American stories, and this was done in America. So you can wave your red, white, and blue. We did it again. We did something else good. We looks like we're solving the peanut allergy. So, man, that's some good news. I appreciate that. Anyway, that's all I have today. Stick around in the after show. I will be going through all your comments on the YouTube and on the Rumble. So I'll see you then. But until tomorrow, and tomorrow is Wednesday, Big Idea Wednesday, where I'll have a psychological idea for you, different way to think about things. I think you're going to like it. But anyway, have a beautiful day. I will see you mañana. Peace. Okay, thanks for sticking around, y'all. I appreciate it. What is going on with this? Is that all we got? Huh. Not a whole lot happening on YouTube today. Everybody's running over to Rumble. Yeah. Natasha says, I've been to a climbing establishment that was built in a silo, a literal echo chamber. I couldn't understand anything that was said to me. Had to get close and whisper. A climbing establishment? So this is a place that you do bouldering or rock climbing. That would be tough. I wouldn't want all those sounds. I'm real sensitive to sound, so I don't think that that would be a good place for me. But that's an interesting experience. Miranda's running errands today, so I hope you have a beautiful day, Miranda. We'll check you out and see you tomorrow. Yeah, what is happening over on the Rumble? We got lots happening. Duggo checking in. Yo, what's up? Big Daddy 5150 with the flames and the coffee. Very nice indeed. I'm a fragile something, says Big Daddy. We're all a little fragile. Look at the moon. Where's my stuff? I want my stuff, from SNL years ago. Definitely an opposing mindset from me. Okay. I listen to Jimmy Dore, a confirmed Democrat, probably others too. I just can't think of them now. Yeah, that's the thing is, I love Jimmy Dore. I think Jimmy Dore is great. Now, I think I could make his show a lot better. Because often, not often, but sometimes he will just put things up and they're kind of unfact-checked. But you know what? Everybody does that. Like, we're all guilty of that. But I know the other day he was talking about them fixing homeless in Portland. And he was going through reading this report, and the report was basically from the city, and it was their spin on it. And he just read that uncritically and didn't even question that there might be that it might be slightly biased if you're getting your information from the person putting it out, doing it without looking at any criticism of it. He was essentially just spouting some propaganda. And the thing is, we're all guilty of that. I think Jimmy Dore has pretty much been kicked out of the Democrat Party. I think I left before he did, but he definitely is on the left, and but I think he's pretty good on so many issues, and he's really good on that. But here's what I mean about the echo chamber. If you're able to watch Jimmy Dore, but you're able to also watch some other points of view, you can then see when Jimmy Dore's doing a good job, and then it becomes really obvious when he's not. Now, I think most of the time he does a great job. I think he's got a great show. I think it'd be better if he had me as one of his writers, but whatevs. But yeah, most of the time it's really good. He does have some blind spots, as we all do. But yeah, if you're able to, take in some corporate media, take in something independent, just get some different points of view. Because if you only have the one point of view, it's like the old Rush Limbaugh listener, right? They were ditto heads, but they would just get all their news 100% from Rush Limbaugh, and that was a real turnoff to people. They didn't want to have conversations because they didn't seem to have any other points of view. I'm just saying, get another point of view. You don't have to agree with it, but it does make you more well-informed, and it does give you a better sense of when someone doesn't know what they're talking about, right? Let's see. When you're behind the pandemics, you can predict when they start. That's true. That's true. Do you think we're going to have some kind of emergency before the next election that's going to require that we all use mail-in voting again? What do you think? Probably. Is the WHO's digital pass similar to the Fast Pass at Disneyland? Well, I don't know. I have not been to Disneyland since I was a child. So I don't know what the Fast Pass is like there. I know that was probably a joke, but because I have no point of view, I don't understand Disneyland as going as an adult. I don't get it. But that's me. I don't understand superhero movies either. I try to watch superhero movies, but I don't know, they don't really do it for me. I don't it doesn't really hit with me. Does that mean I have better taste? No, of course not. I like pro wrestling. I'm not saying I have good taste. I'm just saying, we're all different. Instead of trademark, perhaps just copyright. I'm not sure. I don't know much about that case, and I never even heard about the Trump Too Small T-shirt. Crazy. Does anyone stand around at these photo ops and look back at them thinking, I remember that. Look at me. Probably not. Probably not. I haven't been in too many photo ops, but like that. Then again, I'm not a world leader. China, the peace brokers. Yeah, interesting. 51 look at the moon says, I only ever look at the one good photo of me. Yeah, not a whole lot of good photos of me. It's nice when you get a good photo, though. Peanut allergies come from too many childhood VAX. Hadn't heard that theory before. Perhaps that's a theory. But I never heard that theory. The theory that I heard was that we all overdid it so much in the 80s that that it affected our kids. That's kind of the theory that I heard. And we really did overdo it in the 80s. Boy, did we eat a lot of peanut butter. I ate so much peanut butter as a kid. That was standard operating procedure at the coffee household. You just got your whole wheat toast and your peanut butter. That was probably every day. No one suffered from gluten in the old days either. That is true. Or if they did, they didn't know it. I need a patch for my allergies to stupid people. Well, good luck finding that. We've defeated the peanut. Yeah, perhaps. Perhaps. Anyway, so that's all the show got today. Kind of a quicker show, but that's okay. Do me a favor, if you made it this far, hit the like button. We are growing on one of these two platforms. On one of these two platforms, we're up like 50% in the last 6 weeks. That's fantastic. And on the other platform, we're just taking a nosedive. It's okay. It is what it is. Anyway, y'all have a beautiful day. I will see you mañana. Peace.